friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips for building confidence with your couples that you can use at your next session to make sure that they have a great experience with you. I'm Caitlin Workman, a wedding photographer and educator, and this YouTube channel is where I share free tips to empower and encourage you on your photography journey. If you have heard me share before, you know how important it is for our clients to have an amazing experience. We are actually notorious for having grooms enjoy having their photos taken. A big part of this experience comes from the way that we build confidence with posing, and today I'm going to share tips with you so that you can do the same. Before we get started, I have a free gift for you in the description. I'm so excited about this. I am sharing with you a free posing guide, and in this guide, you can see a sample posing flow. You can see some fun bonus poses. You can see more tips for building confidence with your clients, creating a great experience with them through posing. And I've even included a little bonus video where you can watch us pose our clients. And I'm just so excited for you guys to have it. So make sure you get that in the description before we get started. Let's talk about 3 tips for building confidence with posing. Now, the first one sounds kind of simple, but you may have never thought about this affecting your posing before, and that is taking the time to actually talk and listen to your clients. Even if you only have a 10-minute mini session, you should spend about 2 minutes of that 10 minutes talking to your clients and listening to them and asking them about their insecurities. And this doesn't mean you walk up and say like, hey, what's your biggest insecurity? But it's our job to make sure that our clients are taken care of and we are showcasing them in the most flattering light and in their most confident light. If they have something that they're really insecure about, you need to know about that so that you can make sure to pose them in a flattering way. For example, I'm not super confident in the way that my arms look in photos, and that is a common thing with several girls. And when we had some photos done, some anniversary photos done, things were kind of crazy because it was really windy and there was a lot going on, but the photographer didn't take the time to ask me that. Also, I did not pick the most flattering outfit, so that's my bad by wearing something sleeveless. But she posed me in a lot of ways where my arm was like pressed up against me and your eyes were going directly to my arm, which was what I was insecure about. And so I'm not using any of those photos. I don't like most of that session because of that. And that photographer is not a bad photographer. She's very talented, but that could have been changed had she just said, hey, is there anything that I can look out for? Anything that I should know? And I would have told her. So just take the time to actually ask your clients if they have any insecurities and make sure that you're listening to them. If you ask them and they say, hey, can you watch out for my arms? I don't really like the way that they look sometimes. Can you make sure that you're posing in a flattering way? And then you're not doing that, then that's gonna have the opposite effect, right? You wanna build trust with your clients. So if you're actually listening to them and taking the time to communicate with them, and then you actually do the things that they've asked you to do, it's gonna build that trust with them, which is one of the most important parts about building confidence, because you don't want them to have to look out for those things, because then they're gonna feel more pressure and they're gonna feel more awkward if they feel like they're having to kind of like reposition themselves and they're just worried about things. So build trust with them by looking out for those things. Second is just spend time getting to know them and just talk about their love story, hear more about them. If they met going to a bar and dancing together, then you may want to have some more fun dancing photos. Or if he proposed and they had like a beautiful picnic, then you may want to incorporate some of those types of things into the session. But take time to just kind of talk to them and get to know them. That also just makes people feel more comfortable. If the entire session you're just saying, okay, stand like this, now stand like this, and that's all the session is, like, they're gonna feel super awkward and it's gonna be boring, and that's just not how an engagement session should go. So spend time talking to them. If you need things to ask about, they're getting married, so you have a lot of things to talk to them about. You can ask about their proposal story, about how they met, ask what they're most excited about on the wedding day. Typically, so we do engagement sessions together. It's my husband and I, and so I'll kind of talk to the bride a little bit more and he'll talk to the groom a little bit more, just kind of talk to them about what they're excited about. Usually the guys are not like this is what I'm excited about the wedding, but they might talk about like their hobbies or something like that. But just spend time getting to know them. That's gonna make you feel more like a friend, and it's just gonna make them feel a lot more comfortable and confident as you are posing them. Number 3 is be their cheerleader. You have to constantly hype them up and encourage them, even if they're not doing everything right. So when I start a session, and I typically start with a pretty quick posing flow to kind of knock out some poses and just make them feel more comfortable. If you have no idea what a posing flow looks like, make sure you grab that guide I mentioned, because it's going to show you a sample flow that we use. If I start posing them and I put them in a pose and then they're not doing it quite right, and I'm like, okay, actually that's wrong. Can you put your hand here and can you do this? Oh, your smile is a little bit fake. Can you, and I'm like correcting them and nitpicking them in the very beginning, their confidence is gonna quickly be destroyed. So even if they're not doing everything exactly right the first time, that's totally fine. I still tell them that they're amazing, and I tell them that they're supernatural, because if you start just building their confidence and telling them they're amazing, then something happens and suddenly they become amazing, right? They just feel that confidence and everything else starts to flow more naturally. So I would encourage you, especially when you first start, don't pick apart every little thing, but point out the positive things, like, oh, you guys have such great smiles, or look for things that are true about them. And I would continue doing that throughout the entire session. Now, when I look back at my videos, and I'll show you guys one where you can hear me like screaming at them. Yes! Yes! That is genuinely, like, I genuinely feel that excited. And if you're a little bit more introverted, you're not as crazy as I am, you may not be screaming at them. That's totally fine. You can say, you guys are doing a great job, or that looked absolutely beautiful. Like, you can say it in a way that is true to yourself, but make sure that you're encouraging them every step along the way. So as you're posing them, continue to tell them that they're doing a great job. Because what happens is, if you pose them and you snap, 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 you don't say a thing, and you're like, okay, let's go on to the next pose, then they're probably thinking like, oh, what did I do wrong? Or maybe that didn't work. But if you take it and you say, oh, you guys look amazing, this is gonna be your favorite photo, then suddenly they believe, oh, I look amazing, this is gonna be my favorite photo. And the thing is, I truly believe that the way that you feel when you're having your photo taken is the way that you're gonna feel when you look at that photo later. If I pose them in this epic shot and I'm telling them, this is gonna be hanging above your fireplace, this is the most epic shot, then what happens is later, that's gonna be the one that they print, because they remembered when they were taking it, oh, she said I looked amazing, I look amazing in this. And then when they see that photo, they're gonna remember the way that they felt when they were having those photos taken. So it's so important to make sure that you are being their cheerleader, encouraging them, making them feel good, so that when they look at those photos, they think, oh, I just looked amazing. I can't wait to see you guys give your clients an amazing experience at your next session using these 3 tips. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.